Live a little bit early, almost 5:10, and it is still Saturday, the 13th. It's our friend Elisa's birthday. She's heading out of town, so she will not be here tonight. Um, wish her safe travels and a great birthday. She deserves it. She's a wonderful person, and she's been an incredible friend to me throughout the years. And it's been many years. So, I haven't read from my blog in a while. And I think I will. Let me bring it up. I'm going to read it now when there's no one here. But I'm going to read it slow, and I guess we'll talk about it. I'm also, what I'm going to do is read this again tomorrow. I meant to do this today, and time just got ahead of me, so to speak. I never quite got around to it. The plan is going to increase my playlist. I have playlists for the live sessions. I have playlists for reading some stuff online, live reading, as well as doing my burpees, a few other things, and of course my nature shorts. But I want to have a playlist of me reading from my blog. Writing's my thing. It's what I want to do. It's what I've always wanted to do. And it's almost a shame for me to do any type of social media presence, any type of YouTube presence, that I don't present myself as a writer as much as I present myself as anything. I write about nature, I write about science through my perspective. I'm not a science writer, I'm not a nature writer. I write a lot about meditation, a lot about yoga, spirituality in general, anything from the Bhagavad Gita to Patanjali's Yoga Sutras to biblical, the whole gauntlet, Course in Miracles. I love writing about it all. Whatever captures my fancy, to use another old expression. I don't know if anyone ever says captures my fancy anymore. You heard it here. So that's what I'm going to do. Not starting tonight. This is simply a live session. Talk about whatever we talk about. But starting tomorrow, I will. It is what it is. Louis is here. Hey, Eric. How you doing? How's the recovery? You're probably already recovered. All set to hit another 1,000 tomorrow. Or another 1,000 later in the evening. Our friend Brian Lane is here as well. Brian, how are you? Hey, Eric just got done doing work outside. Now soon going to get a workout in. It's a little late for your workout, isn't it? Of course, you're in the central time zone. It is what it is. Says my body was feeling it, so I took a nap. Man, it's just amazing still. 3 hours of burpees. Under 3 hours of burpees, but a lot of reps. It is what it is. Says, no, but I'm on my way to get my burrito, steak and shrimp. Hey, you earned it. You definitely earned it. I don't know, man. I think you earned a donut too. I know you eat clean during this time of the year, but if anyone's ever earned themselves a donut, you'd be the one. Some of my favorite things ever, after an ultra, after a 50K or 50 miler or a 100 miler or a 24-hour race, we would head to our favorite vegan restaurant and just eat up a storm. Brian says, nice, congrats, Lewis. Reminds me of Paradox videos, long too. Yeah, it's going to. How long did it take Paradox to do it? I can't imagine anyone. In theory, you could do it under 2 hours, I guess. Um, I did Pelican Bay routine 500, and then I carried on. I think I might have got 600 in under an hour. Theoretically, that means you can do it in 2 hours. But man, that is something theoretical and something actual. Sometimes the two don't meet up, you know? Theoretically, I could have run 100 miles in under 24 hours, but every time I attempted it, some tire came off the bus and it didn't happen. I see we got a donut emoji. Lewis says Docs is 100%. Yeah, he is. Brian says, I don't know. All I remember was his title. It said 1,000 burpees, I think, for his birthday. It is what it is. Says, I don't care for time. Just get it done. That's actually the same thing Brian said earlier today. Or something similar. And I agree. I spent a long time following the Busy Dad protocol to an extreme. I was alternating all out 20-minute Navy SEALs, the next day all out 6 count. Then I might do like a high rep 300, 500 day, and then back to the Busy Dad, sometimes Busy Dad straight through. And although I liked it and I appreciated it, there was a mental shift where I just no longer felt the need to see how many reps I can get in 20 minutes. It's still kind of fun on occasion. I just like getting the reps in. I like turning it into a meditation. When you watch Lewis do his burpees, that long set like that, he's in the zone, 100%. There's that. He's not all in the mind. He's not all in the body. He's in that mind-body space. Everything's connected. Brian said I did 500 in like an hour. It's a good pace. Lewis says almost 3 months since I've started. And man, I hope everyone remembers where you started. You didn't just start after a layoff. You started back after an injury, after injuries. That's the big thing. You weren't recovering from an injury. You were recovering from many. We got our friend Noble Squirrel Traveler announcing some college baseball again. Does a good job with that. So is your wife in? Has she started her half marathon training? She should be pretty much in full swing right about now, right? It is what it is. Says this was my first Holy Grail without Uncle Burpee Yoga, who was missing in action. I haven't seen him on YouTube for a while. I haven't even seen his. He was doing his daily Superman shorts, and it's been quite some time since I've seen his presence. Sorry, guys, got to say hi to my cat. Lewis says, yes, Eric, she's getting better every day. My first one with her will be tomorrow. Awesome. Yeah, you mentioned that you will be supporting her. I'm just looking at, I have some people up and running up on my channel, giving them some watch hours. I know Noble is looking to monetize, so I'm helping him out, as well as my friend C. Payton, my friends Spinny Deuces 187, who I've mentioned quite a few times, and my friend Tokyo. You've seen them both pop in. There's gamers. They are gamers. Some people, I've heard a bit of discontent about me sort of sharing some gamer stuff out. But you know what? You gotta support everyone, not just those who you think people will appreciate. I'm definitely not a burpee channel. I'm definitely not a yoga channel. I'm definitely not a whatever channel. I'm a me channel, and that includes burpees, and includes yoga, and includes meditation, includes all the stuff that I love and that I'm passionate about, and that includes, above all else, helping as many people as I can to not so much, well, yeah, to accomplish their goals, whatever they might be. I'm not a big motivational guy. I'm not a big, you can do it, let's go. What I'd rather do, and I don't downplay the role of motivation, but man, you can hit a wall in motivation. You can get to rep 699 and use motivation to get you to 899, but then things start to give way. And what do you rely on? You rely on inspiration. You rely on spirit. For me, this is why I always admire the fact that it is what it is. His handle, God above all. That's what you surrender to. That's what's carrying you from rep number 1 to rep number 999 and beyond. God above all. Love above all. Motivation helps, but it's not the end all be all. It's a great tool. God above all, that's the tool chest. That's everything. Brian says, looking at the KS guy here, he did 1,200 push-ups in one go. Wow, that's amazing. It is what it is, says 100 and 100. So yeah, I'd much rather inspire someone. I don't mind, lending a little bit of motivation, as long as you realize that it's short term. Inspiration, that takes you all the way. God above all, that takes you all the way. Love takes you all the way. So when I come across a channel, this is why I love supporting Brian's channel. I love supporting Lewis's channel. And of course, they're in the burpee community. And it's no lie. I mean, I love burpees. It's in my title. I'm not just a yogi. I'm not just a yogi with a bunch of books behind him. Just a yogi doing burpees. 800. I might be at 840 days in a row, somewhere along there. Excellent point from Lewis. Question is, what is he going to do tomorrow, Brian? This is true. I would ask that from people I knew in ultra running who would go, all out to get the best time that they could. I would take my time, sort of. You have a time limit in ultra marathons. But I ran every day after every race, regardless if it was a 5K, 10K, half marathon, 50K, 50-mile, 100-mile, 24-hour race. It didn't matter. The next day, I'd go for a run. Might not be the best run, might be a shuffle, but for me, it was important to get that blood going again and to stay in motion. When my father, 91, went in the hospital for pneumonia, came home, I think it might have been 3 days later, he came into my office. I told this story, some of it, the other day. Came into my office, said had a pain in his side. And I said, should we go to the doctor? And he said, no, I got an appointment in a week or so with his general practitioner, and we can get it looked at and see what she thinks. I said, you know what, if you're in pain, you shouldn't be. Let's go to the emergency room, get it checked out. No harm. And of course, he's like, I don't want to bother you. I was like, it's not a bother. We're going to the doctor. We went to the emergency room. They rushed him in. He had his gallbladder was about to burst. And on his way to surgery, it actually did burst. It was septic. Doctor said, doesn't know how my dad had survived that someone half his age probably wouldn't have survived that. But that's not the whole story. When Mocha went to visit him in the hospital, and he was up out of bed using his cane, he was walking laps out of his room into the hallway, turn around, going back. He didn't notice Mocha until she came in, and he looked up and he said, you got to stay in motion. It's a secret to life. You got to stay in motion. That doesn't mean always being busy. There's a difference. It means every day you should do something. Something, in my opinion. As well, the last day, the day before he took his last trip to the hospital, I helped him out of his wheelchair. We had it's my dad's memorial track. You go down the hallway, through the living room, into the kitchen, back down the hallway. A little lap. That's all he could do. But I helped him out of his wheelchair, and we did it every day he could, up until he couldn't do anything anymore. When he was in the hospital, and I was making end-of-life decisions, which, man, I hope no one ever has to do that. It's a horrible experience. And we were making care for hospice. And he said, just because I'm going in hospice, that doesn't mean that we shouldn't be able to take our walks together. And I said, absolutely. If you're home, we take our walks together. Sadly, we never got that opportunity, but the intent was always there. Our friend Chris K is here. Hello, Chris. How are you? Brian says, yeah, I was on Noble Live like 3 times yesterday. Noble is awesome. Yeah, Noble is awesome. Few people bring as much joy in just loving the people who come into his live stream. I've taken a lot of inspiration from him on live stream. I've mentioned before the people that have inspired me on um, for YouTube. The Jay Jordan, for me, he redefined. He's the reason I started going live. Redefine what you can do. He was unafraid to put his music, his talent out there, and to make mistakes, and more importantly, to practice. Which to me is amazing. How many people would go online, put this stuff out there, and practice, and saying, "Hey, I'm going to make mistakes. Doesn't matter." Um, and of course, Destiny, and of course, Reverend Terminator. All of them really inspired me. What you can do with your channel, how far you can take it. But most recently, Noble. You see how much fun Noble has. That's what it's all about. You gotta have fun. Everyone is saying hello to Chris. Our friend Eric Lapointe is here. Eric, how are you? Um, Eric says, I tried to be a runner back in my younger years. Good times. Yeah, oddly, you know what? I raced, and I raced a lot in an 11-year period, and I've always run. I don't know if I've ever considered myself a runner, just someone who ran. I ran for training for sports, and then I ran when I was doing ultra running. I ran to explore nature. I thought of it less of a race and more of, man, I get to spend all day in the woods, or I get to spend all day running next to a river, or whatever the course was. It was getting out in nature, and the best way to see as much nature as possible was to run. The best way to do that was to train so that I could do that. Brian says Noble quit drinking too. Good for him. Undoubtedly the best thing I've ever done. I wouldn't have had the capacity or the capability to be a caregiver for my mom with my dad when she was suffering Alzheimer's. I wouldn't have had I never would have met and married Mocha. I wouldn't have been able to take care of my stepdaughter when Mocha went to Iraq for a year. I wouldn't have been able to be an effective caregiver for my father. And I certainly wouldn't be doing burpees every single day. Even though when I was drinking, I still worked out. But I don't think I could have done that at age 59. Technically, I'm not 59 yet. I will be Wednesday. Chris K says, I was asked to rejoin the Special Forces and become the leader of them. Is that something that you're interested in doing, Chris? How long have you been out? Brian is saying hi to Eric. And Eric says hello to Brian. Lewis says the Jay Jordan is super solid. Yeah, all around amazing. Amazingly fit. Recovering from injuries, from back surgery. A great artist, super creative, and 100% supportive. And again, that was just another huge inspiration. As well, I mentioned before, Mayhem and Miracles, Masha, you've all seen her come in here. She just made me realize that how much, all the different avenues you have of supporting people, sharing people out. That's why, people say, why are you sharing out all these people? Do you need to? I don't need to do anything. I want to. I want these people to get their effort and their joy recognized. It's like I shared, are you guys following Burpee's Lion? He's only got 20 subscribers. And here he just did 100 reps in like 9 minutes. And if you ever see from where he started, it's an absolutely amazing journey. Definitely needs more than 20 followers, 20 subscribers. Lewis says he's an amazing supporter. Yeah, I mean, he was there. Day one of comeback for you. Brian says Noble was feeding crows yesterday. We saw bald eagle too on his live. Yeah, I watched that today. I didn't. Oh, sorry, I didn't see the whole thing, but I had it up and running the whole day, and I would pop in and out. And I got him up now. I got an amazing close up of a red-tailed hawk today, and I'll be posting that soon. Lewis says, "Nice, Brian." Yeah, they're amazing to see. We got one flying around here from time to time. Brian says, yeah, I'm going to grind out a workout, maybe a little bit different today. We'll see. And try burpee commando. I've never actually done a commando. I generally keep my burpees pretty simple. Not maybe not simple is the word. Uncomplicated. One pumps, although honestly I prefer 6 counts, but you can't do 6 count nasal breathing because you got to literally count out each portion of the rep from 1 to 6, technically, for it to be a 6 count. Otherwise, it's just a 1 pump. So you can't do that when you nasal breathe. I was doing some of the Iron Wolf stuff a while back, 2 years ago, and I do like it. There's just so much you can do with burpees. That's what makes it such an amazing movement. Brian says, there's a new guy here. That may be his name. I gotta look. I just posted, I've been following Burpee Lion for a while. I posted him on my community page. Chef Mary is here. Chef Mary, how are you? Hey, Chef Mary, can you do me a favor? If you don't mind leaving a comment on one of my videos, any video whatsoever, because I want to make sure that I want to be able to support you a little bit more. So I want to make sure that I am able to get to your channel and have it saved, give you some support, give you some watch hours. Brian says Burpee Commando was his name. I don't think I'm aware of him. I will look for him. So it is nice to have you back, Chef Mary. Chris K says that I am back. So Chris, what are you going to do? Are you going to return to the Special Forces? Chris K says, what do you think of me being the leader of the Special Forces after they kicked me? Man, that's a tough call. Depends on why you would do it. I don't think you should ever do anything, um, one, that your heart's not 100% into. Two, I wouldn't do anything just to prove to other people, just to show them that I can come back, that no matter what you did to me, I can come back. Sometimes I think, it's best just to move on. But that's me personally. You know what? I'm always hesitant to give advice. And I'm not going to. So what I will say, get quiet, sink deep within yourself, and just ask yourself, where does my path lie? What direction does my path lie? Where does my passion lie? Is this really something that I want to do? Chris K says, so should I say no to the offer? Chris, where's your heart leading you? If you were to put your hand on your chest, right at the heart center, and you were to close your eyes and you would say, what does my heart tell me to do? What would the answer be? And you might not know now, but ask yourself and then wait and see what happens. I think you'll be given a clear direction and you'll know that's the way to go. But you really got to listen to that heart center. The mind's going to tell you one thing. The ego's going to tell you something else. But it's the heart that really knows. Eric Lapointe says, go for it, Chris K. My thoughts are, man, if that's your path, then definitely go for it. But if you have doubts, feel it out. See what your heart tells you to do. But I know many people who have been in military. It's so much a part of them that when the opportunity comes to get back in, hey, Milka was in the Air Force for 23.5 years, and she had other opportunities to get out, but she saw that as her path, and she served well. She served the country, did a lot of good. Speaking of which, Milka McCarty says hello. I just mentioned you. I just mentioned you and your military service. Chris says, I will think about it, but I love being on the battlefield. That's the problem with it's the problem with thinking though, Chris. When you think, you weigh all the options. Some of the options have a heavier weight than others. So you go in the direction of the one that has the best or better or clearer options. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's the best thing to do. The best thing to do is always what your heart tells you to do. If you're a born fighter, as you said, that love being on the battlefield and that I was a born fighter, and you're fighting for what you consider to be a just and righteous cause, you really believe in it, and that's what your heart tells you to do, then that's the right path. But if you walked away from the battlefield knowing that you've left it all there, you've done your service, and you're over, that's it. The advice Krishna gave to Arjuna on the battlefield, when Arjuna didn't know what to do, he had family and friends on both sides of the battlefield. and he was despondent. I'm done. I'll fight no more. I'm done killing. I'm sick of killing. My heart's not into it. It was never into it. And Krishna actually took him to task. He said that your behavior is unbecoming for a warrior. What you do is you go into battle and you do it for a noble cause, but you surrender the results. That's how you're karma free. You do your duty, you surrender it all to God. Mocha says, I just caught that. Um, and Eric says, good timing, Mocha. Mocha has excellent timing. Chris K says, I never left. I got kicked out from the elite team. They must have realized, though, that that was a bad decision as they're calling you back and asking you to lead. Medic says, I'm just going to listen, otherwise I'm going to go on a rant. You know what, Medic? In the brief time that you've been participating on the live streams, I've grown to appreciate and truly love your rants. So if you're ready to go on a rant, let's hear it. Chris K says, I will go, man. So it sounds like, obviously, I don't know your heart, but it sounds like that's the path for you. And when it is, it is. We have Medic was in the military. Milka was in the military. So we have a good representation of people who have been of the deepest service for their country. Chris K says, I must fight for my country. So you know your path, and it's clear for you, which obviously, I don't wish you to be in any danger, but I'm happy that you can do what you're going to do with a clear heart. Lewis says, I'm noticing a lot of homeless people here. I've never seen this before. That's always heartbreaking. You and I in Destiny, we've talked about this before. There should be no such thing as homeless people unless it is people who choose a homeless lifestyle for whatever reasons, that you want to live that kind of lifestyle, or that you're, for whatever reason. But no one should be homeless without a choice, because we have the resources to prevent that across the world. Medic says, but they only watched Dipstuffs to when the submarine appears, then left. WTF. Why is that? That is strange. Lewis says, oh, Chris, I'll pray for you. And I will definitely join Lewis in those prayers. Definitely prayers for your safety, prayer for your teammates, prayers for your country. They must have an awful lot of faith in you, my friend, giving you a leadership position. Hey, Eric Lapointe. Excellent catch with on the squirrel video for the start of a beaver dam. Milk and I walk by that quite a bit, and the beavers have returned to the neighborhood, and that's what we were thinking, that that is the beginning of a beaver dam. UK Medic is speaking the language of my heart right here. It's immoral that there are so many people who have more wealth than we'll ever need, yet have such poverty in the world. I don't understand it. I don't understand why someone would buy a space shuttle, go on a joyride. I don't understand it. Why would someone do that? Hey, just for fun, because they can, because they have the money. The attitude is, hey, it doesn't hurt anyone and it's fun. And I'm showing people, what we can do. You know what we can do? We can feed every starving child in the world. We can make shelters for people. Politics aside, Jimmy Carter, a lot of people didn't like him as a president. I understand people have different politics, absolutely fine. When he got out of politics, he made houses for the homeless, Habitat for Humanity. He worked tirelessly up until his elder years. We get a thumbs up from Eric Lapointe, who has a keen eye for nature. Chris K says, how much money do you have in your bank account? Never enough, it seems. Definitely not enough for a space shuttle. Not even enough to take a ride on a space shuttle. More importantly, I have absolutely no desire to take a ride in a space shuttle. But I do like to think, and I could be wrong, maybe money really does change people. That if I did have enough money to buy a space shuttle, it wouldn't even occur to me to do so. That I would think, in terms of, how can I help? How can I be of service? Chris K says that is unfortunate. We all go through the same. I think so. We have a friend that comes in the chat, refreshing, who has struggled with not having a home. Medic says, I'm now on a fixed income. I'm retired. I'm not poor by any means, but things are tight. Yet I use the little I have to put towards buying the defibrillator for an old age day center. It's amazing. Well, as your channel name implies, UK Medic, you're a healer. That's where your heart lies. You're someone of service. Medic says, second one I will have bought. I did do a fundraiser on my channel 2 years ago, but no success doing so myself. So doing it myself. I'm happy you're getting it done. I'm also happy there's people like you who are doing such a thing. I don't want it to sound like I'm against people having money. Obviously not at all. Um, but at a certain point, you ask yourself, what are you getting out of it? What are you getting out just being rich for the sake of rich and trying to get richer? And you're choosing these charities to do not for the sake of helping people, but maybe for publicity or maybe for a tax write-off or I don't know. When you could go all in. That was Buckminster Fuller. If you guys are familiar with Buckminster, uh, did the um, what was the geothermal design, the house that he thought could home everyone. True genius, innovator, and more importantly, someone who only wanted to help the world, everyone in it. Lewis says money isn't real. Isn't that amazing? It isn't. It's paper. When we give it currency. Chris K says, I also don't have much money, guys, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm on a fixed income right now. I'm living on some savings until I figure out what to do. My rise to YouTube stardom has limited appeal. Medic says, hopefully, when I move on, people will have fond memories of me. I have no doubt that they will. Medic says, well, it's like YouTube. I'm not doing it for the money. I just want to be worshipped and adored. You see, it's the opposite for me. I'm tired of being worshipped and adored. Now I want the cash. And that was definitely a joke. All the way around. Although we've talked about this quite a bit. And that reminds me, I wanted to look up, Medic, you mentioned Rumble. I wanted to look that up and I forgot today. I mentioned before, I'm living on a fixed income. I inherited a small amount of money that I've been able to live on for 2 years. I teach a little bit of meditation. I teach a little bit of breath work. To find a way to make money being creative has been my dream from day one. I have a house that's paid for. I only have to pay for utilities and taxes, and that's split with someone. So utility, taxes, split down the middle, and food and the occasional book, and I'm set. If I were to earn $1,000 extra a month, I would be the Elon Musk of my household, but a nicer version. That would be enough for me to joyfully live my life, being creative. And I don't know if it's possible, but you know what? I'm gonna give it a shot. Chris Case says, I only have a couple million, which isn't that bad, but I try to live with what I have. That's all we can do. There's a lot to be said for living within our means, living simply, and that's honestly simplifying my life. Simplify, simplify, simplify. I always say, basically, I want to live a quiet life of yoga. Medic says we should set up a center for people with injured souls and heal them. That's a beautiful thought. And it's one of the things I like thinking about with the live stream. because I get such great people here. Um, I get people like Medic, I get people like Eric Lapointe and Brian, and It Is What It Is. Um, Destiny Forever Walks PhD, Milka, all these people who have so much empathy, so much compassion, and a wish to help and a wish to heal. Um, every single one of us has been broken in some way. And it's that brokenness that allows someone to be a healer. If you haven't been broken, you're not going to be able to heal. I always go back to the great songwriter Leonard Cohen, that everything has a crack in it because that's how the light gets in. Medic says, I feel I have all I need. Just such a great way to go through life. Our friend Duncan Walsh, Fitness Motivation, is here. Hey, Eric. Medic is saying hey to Duncan. And Duncan says, hey, Mr. Medic. So we have at least 2 people from across the pond. I haven't seen our friend Scroll Sniper for a couple of days. Eric Lapointe is saying hello to Duncan. You know what, though? I think in a way, we do get to heal people just by conversations that we have. Not trying to solve problems as much as listening, offering ourselves, offering our presence. This is always good. Whenever Duncan Walsh says, have you considered? When Duncan Walsh says, have you considered? It's going to be a great idea that's either going to bring me a great deal of physical and mental anguish, training-wise, because Duncan is a top-notch trainer, or it's going to be an insightful comment that's going to expand the way I think about something. A bushy beard. I've had a bushy beard. I've had an extremely bushy beard. As a matter of fact, I had a Jerry Garcia bushy beard at one time. If you look along YouTube, I think I have one in one of my thumbprints. I wish I knew a better way of sharing it on YouTube. I don't know if anyone is on Facebook, but if you look me up on Facebook, you will see not just a bushy beard, and my beard actually goes in various degrees of bushiness. Sometimes I'll just have the 5 o'clock shadow, and sometimes I'll take it out bigger, bushier. Sometimes it'll be a goatee. The thing is, I am limited with my hair on top, so you got to make up for it with the facial hair. It is what it is. Big shout out to Duncan. Eric Lapointe. Thought that was funny. Duncan says, in case the local birds need a place to rest their heads. And you know what? I'm all for that. I offer myself as a sanctuary to every bird, even squirrels. Man, I saw a great hawk today. I got a great close-up with my new camera. So I'm guessing that Duncan thinks that I would be more Yogi looking, with a bigger beard. That maybe my YouTube channel would expand with the presence of a bushier beard people would think, man, somebody with a beard that big has got to be pretty wise, which is definitely not the case. Duncan says, "Hey Louis, am I spelling your name correctly?" You are. Larry Point says Duncan is living that 1930s cartoon. It is what it is, says me too, Eric. And yes, sir. Duncan says beards are pretty endearing. Yeah. I've had a beard in various states since I could grow one. It was a prerequisite in my Grateful Dead traveling days, following them along in the 1980s. Long hair and a beard. Duncan said maybe my era should have been the 30s. Man, I always like the thought of the 1920s in Paris, France. Very literary point of time. Henry Miller, Hemingway. I love the thought of New York City in the 1940s, the whole jazz era. San Francisco in the 60s. Eric Lapointe says, I'm a beard man myself. Hey, anyone who plants, what's the number? What's the number today? You said it went up. We're working on 1,000. Anyone who plants 1,000 trees is definitely has to have a beard. Duncan said, would Mocha like the beard? That's a good question. She's been popping in and out. When I had a bigger beard, she never complained. And when I had just a stubble, she never complained. So I think she's happy either way. Amazingly, I think I told the story during COVID shutdown. I thought to myself, I always wondered if I could pull off the George Carlin, old man, old hippie, old balding hippie with a ponytail. And I talked about it for years. I never did it. And then I thought, shutdown, I could finally do it. And I did do it. And if you've seen my earlier burpee videos, I have a ponytail. I have the old bald hippie ponytail because I'm an old bald hippie. Although I more consider myself a beatnik than a hippie. And then I realized that no, I can't carry off the old bald guy with a ponytail look at all. But amazingly, Mocha never looked at me and said, hey, you really gotta cut that thing off. Amazingly, she was full support for my ponytail, the great 2020 to 2022 ponytail experiment. Lewis says, I agree with Duncan, 9 for the 30s. Duncan said, which writer from the past would you have liked to meet? It's a good question. I really like Henry Miller. He's been on my mind a lot lately. I'm a big Jack Kerouac fan. Allen Ginsberg as well. You know what? I'm going to go all the way back. Thoreau. Henry David Thoreau. Spend a day on Walden Pond with Henry David Thoreau. and that would be it. Henry David Thoreau incorporates everything. The wildness of Henry Miller, the wandering spirit of Jack Kerouac, the brevity of Hemingway. He was a yogi in his own right. Loved reading the Bhagavad Gita. Spent time in nature, meditated. Definitely Thoreau. Mocha says, I like your different beard phases. Unfortunately, every phase now is gray. Maybe not, unfortunately. Beards seem to go grayer before anything else goes gray. Eric Lapointe says, don't forget to like this live. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate that. Our friend Destiny has really taught us well. Duncan says, what about one of those long slim beards like the mystic who trained Uma Thurman and Kill Bill? I think you have to be a deadly assassin in order to pull that look off. Sorry, my cat is demanding some attention. I'm sure Duncan knows this well. Cats never ask for attention. Cats demand attention. It is what it is, says, are we ever going to see Mocha? She made a online appearance, I think 2 weeks ago. She came here to, I don't remember, in the afternoon. Drop something off, or it might have been to work out. Mocha comes by to use the squat rack. And Noble asked if she wanted to come on and say hi, and she did. Lewis says, Eric, you should invite Mocha one day. Mocha has a standing invitation to every aspect of my life. But for the most part, most people don't want to join every aspect of my life. Very few people want to get up at 2:30 or sit and meditate with me. Very few people want to do burpees with me. I don't know anyone except for one person in existence right now who wants to do 1,000 burpees, and that would be the champ himself. Speaking of which, Duncan, did you know today was the day? It is what it is. Did his Holy Grail. I mentioned this earlier, Lewis. I don't know if you saw it. Destiny called you the champ, and I said, absolutely. Even before you did the Holy Grail, if anyone ever deserved the title in the burpee community, definitely the champ. But I'd absolutely love for Mocha to come live with me. It is what it is, says Gray looks good on your. Thanks, I appreciate that. You definitely earn your gray hairs, that's for sure. It is what it is, says I miss it then, dang. You earned the title of the champ for, I think, the whole show, the whole thing. Not well before you did the Holy Grail, just the way you show up, the intensity, your commitment to the rep. Man, that's what I really respect. That you're not committed to anything other than that one perfect rep. that you do repeatedly. Duncan says, yes, I'm going about to catch up on that. It is what it is. Says, not to toot my own horn, but yes, I am. Man, I'm a big believer in tooting our own horns when it's well deserved. And again, not to keep tooting your horn, but it was well deserved even before today. Not to mention, you've been nothing and have always been full support for me, which I greatly appreciate, but across the board in the community. That's what makes a champ. Physical, mental, spiritual. It is what it is. Says tomorrow, for today. Tomorrow is a new day. Yeah, you know. Oh, another way of looking at it, though, to be the champ, you got to beat the champ. And there ain't no one out there that can beat you. Lewis says, I appreciate you, Eric. Eric Point gives us a thumbs up. Mocha says, what day would work for everyone for me to visit? Let's lay it out on the table, guys. Pick a day. It'll be the Mocha McCarty debut. I used to think that it would be fun to, I don't know if it's possible, take people along on a walk, so they can meet Misty as well. Well, we normally take this is the second walk of the day for me. Milk and I normally take our walk about 9-ish Eastern time, of course. That's pretty early for you, Lewis. How about Sunday morning? We could do it after the walk. Just a brief live. Hey guys, this is Mocha. I honestly know the reason why everyone wants to meet Mocha. They all have one question they want to ask, which is, how have you ever managed to put up with Eric for 22 years? Which is a good question. It's a question I ask myself. So, yeah, we're usually done our walk 10:30, which would be 7:30. That's pretty early on a Sunday. So when I'm getting up at 2:30 in the morning, Lewis, you're probably just getting to sleep, California time. Duncan says, have you posted the video, Lewis? I only see one from 4 weeks ago as the most recent. Hit a blinker. Sleepy True. That's a good name, Sleepy True. But I don't think I'm going to hit a blinker. It is what it is. Says it was live, Duncan. Yeah, I posted the link on my community page. Mocha, you could always stop by in between class during the week when I do my afternoon live, like you did. I forget what day it was when you popped in uh, for Noble. So, he sent a little message here. I just wanted to let our friend Noble know that I was still had him up and running, still pop in to check him out. Mocha said like Tuesday. Tuesday works. And you're coming over Tuesday anyway to work out. Tuesday is going to be a squat day. Just checking the schedule. Lewis says, I mentioned you, so I believe if you check your mention section, I should pop up, Duncan. It is what it is, says I'll be tuning in, Mocha. That would be awesome. And also, the great thing is, it'll be live, so we can chat for a little bit, but also for the people who can't make it live, they'll be able to at least watch it. And what I'll try to do is do the timestamp. Eric Point says, Steve True, you have the wrong channel. Yeah, it certainly does. Roka says, I won't wake up until like 1:15 or 1:30 though. That works. So, Duncan, what routines do you have in store for yourself lately? I know you definitely got something hardcore coming up. So that's going to be fun for having Mocha here. I'll have to make sure to advertise that. Just a Yogi and Mocha? Just Mocha? Just Mocha and a Yogi? I'll think of some kind of title. Duncan says, I posted a good one a few days ago. You may have missed. I'm going to have to check that out. Definitely don't want to miss something. I'm going to bring your channel up now and see. And I did miss it. This is from 4 days ago. 50-minute workout, L-sit pull-ups. Man, L-sit pull-ups are not sure how you manage those. Double Navy SEAL burpees, 306 count. It's a big workout, Duncan. So I have that liked and saved. And now it's going to be my morning motivation before I work out tomorrow. There we go. Definitely looking forward to checking out. As always, definitely looking forward to watching it before I do my own workout. And tomorrow will be a good day for it, because tomorrow is the strength volume session. So I'll be doing my dips and my burpees. My friend Ivan is here. And hi, Eric, back again. Nice to see you, my friend. You're catching me right in time as just getting ready to say goodnight. Just a little bit, a couple minutes. Duncan says, I have an idea for a session, which I don't think anyone has done, but we need a few preparatory sessions to complete it. That's going to be interesting. Eric says, I'm going to have to check out Duncan myself. Eric, thank you for coming in, for your support, for your friendship. All of that is greatly appreciated. I'm watching a bit of Duncan right now. As I mentioned before, him and Tony Han, two most explosive athletes in the game. Duncan says, it wasn't particularly amazing, but I felt a little below par, so it felt like a grind. Yeah, I've had days like that. This is the problem with having Duncan Walsh Fitness Motivation in the same chat with It Is What It Is. Nothing good comes from it. Okay, that's not the best way to say it. Nothing unpainful comes from it. And here's the proof is, Duncan, have you tried the 200 psycho-style burpees unbroken with a rocking chair? I'm not sure I've ever seen Duncan do the rocking chair before. So that's what I mean. Nothing unpainful is going to come from this. Duncan says, thanks, Eric. Ivan says, listen, when I'm aware, and I realize I'm aware, who's aware? Well, you're not the one realizing that you're aware. It's just awareness. When that happens, there's no I that can know, that can be aware, or even be unaware of being aware. There's just aware. Brian says, well, you still on? Yep, I'm putting in some marathon sessions lately. I'm on a quest. It Is What It Is says, I'm going to go check out Duncan. I wouldn't mind trying the L-sit pull-ups, but I can't do them on my chin-up bar because I'm facing the wall, my legs won't go out. If I face the other direction, my head won't. There's not enough room for my body. So unfortunately, I could move it, Just a bit of a pain in the butt. Duncan says, I haven't, Lewis, I was put off rocking chair style when someone said they were possibly bad for your knees. My knees don't like them, but um, my knees can be tricky sometimes. They'll be fine for long periods of time, and then something little will set them off. Brian says, hey to Duncan. Eric says, good night, everyone. Good night, Eric. Have a good night's sleep. I'll be calling it a night too in just a few minutes. I want to see if the evil geniuses of Duncan Walsh and It Is What It Is coming together are going to come up with a great secret burpee torture plan. It Is What It Is says, Nonsense Duncan, who said that? Brian says just the 200 push-ups like that KS guy and 202 pumps burpees. That's a big workout. We got 600 pumps in that workout. Ivan says, sorry, I got a bit late. But it's okay, my friend. I appreciate you being here now, and I appreciate you being here this afternoon. I had a great conversation with you this afternoon. Duncan says, not sure, early days of getting into burpees. Ivan says, thank you, Eric. When are you coming back again? I'll be back tomorrow, 1 o'clock Eastern U.S. time. It Is What It Is says, that's just someone who can't do them, Duncan. Here's my thoughts. If your knees are fine, I don't think they're going to hurt your knees. If you got knee issues, then almost anything like that's going to hurt your knees. If I do Hindu squats, my knees ache for about a day or so, and then they get stronger. They get in the groove of things. So, again, I think if your knees are fine, your knees are fine. Duncan says, I will have to familiarize myself with the psycho style. Have you tried the plyometric seals, 6 counts as demonstrated by Tony? So in the game. Man, to me, honestly, that's psycho style. The plyometric seals are definitely psycho style. And the proof is that Tony Han, who's literally a burpee psycho, no one moves faster than Tony Han. And he's a year older than me. It Is What It Is says, for example, look at Burpees King, 4 years straight with rocking chairs. You got to not drop the body weight on your knees. Form is everything. Eric Point says, I just subscribed, Duncan. Excellent. Ivan says, good night to Eric Lapointe. Man, I'm really glad people are making connections here. Brian says, hey Eric, hope you're having a great day, brother. I don't know if you guys know that Eric Lapointe is on his way to planting 1,000 trees. It Is What It Is says, challenges are coming, Duncan. I need to get back to form. Man, definitely check out those plyometric Navy SEALs. You start on your knees. I'm trying to think how it goes again. You start on your knees, you jump up into the seal position. You do the double Navy SEALs, and then you're back up and you go into a from that position to a jump squat. But instead of just landing, you go all the way back down into that in a deep squat position, and then back on your knees. Lewis says, almost 3 months since I've started. It's a big 3 months. Man, I'm thinking of those step back one pumps. What a big jump, man. From having to step back and they get the pump. And I believe you were stepping back up too. I don't remember. I know you had to step back, and you had to do that for a few weeks to now hitting 1,000 rocking chair burpees. Eric Lapointe says good night to Ivan. Ivan says okay. See you then. Awesome. Looking forward to it. Hope everyone here has a blessed weekend, says Brian Lane. Thank you, Brian. I'm going to leave now. Thank you and good night to you and everyone. Thank you, Ivan. Yep, I'm going to be calling it a night too. I've had some later sessions, so I'm getting ready for bed. Ivan says we'll be here tomorrow at 1. Awesome. Duncan thanks Mr. Lapointe. Duncan is asking Lewis who's ever used weighted vest. I know he uses ankle weights. And some of my earlier Iron Wolf sessions, I was using a vest. I was using it for some busy dad sessions. I don't like the way it changes my form. I figure, you know what, if I'm going to do weight, I'd rather use my belt and do weighted chins or weighted dips and just leave my burpees as burpees. Leave it as body weight. Just me. Lewis says, not yet. Duncan, I still need to purchase one. Eric Lapointe says, 8,600 trees by today, total by Monday. Me and the other 3 workers. Amazing. In my opinion, definitely God's work. Duncan says, well, great work, Mr. Lapointe. Definitely is great work. To me, that is definitely the path with heart. So, all right, guys, I'm going to call it an early night. Happy you guys joined me. Pretty cool. Definitely celebrate. It is what it is. Lewis hitting 1,000 reps. I think everyone is subscribed to Lewis, as they should be. You'll definitely be impressed. Speaking of which, Eric Lapointe says good night. And again, Eric, thank you. And Duncan says, Miss McCarty, for the most explosive athlete, you and Tony, for sure. And I know that's a big thing for you. Training. You know, you've mentioned it. You've mentioned it before from Found My Fitness. I don't remember her name. I saw her pop up the other day. I like her sauna protocol. I also like a lot of her dietary tips. she's talks plant-based without the elimination of meat, which I think is important for a lot of people, because not everyone is going to want to do that, but everyone can be plant-based, which just means eat more plants. Everything else will take care of itself. So, all right, guys. Duncan, Eric Lapointe, Lewis, Brian Lane, Chef Mary. I definitely want to support you more, but I'm not sure that I have a link to your channel. Ivan, always enjoy our conversations. Like I said, those questions just lead us both deeper and deeper and deeper. And Milka, as always, thank you. I'm looking forward to everyone getting a chance to meet you and ask you deeply, deeply personal questions. Chris K, as it is what it is, said to you earlier, you're in his prayers and you're in my prayers as well, my friend. Oh, Duncan says, I was saying you should plant a tree, Mr. McCarty. That's true. You know what? You're absolutely right. I think we should all plant a tree. I got to think. I'm writing that down, Duncan. I'm going to take that as not as a personal challenge, but as a personal mission, a commitment. Honestly, something we should all do. I got to figure out the logistics, because unfortunately in this area, you can't just dig, because there's gas lines and stuff. You got to call up the Miss Utility company that has all those plans, and they can tell you where we can plant and where we can. But I'm glad you said that, because I like the thought of planting a tree. Of course, that puts Eric Lapointe at 808,600 trees, and Eric McCarty at 1. Although I have planted a few trees in my lifetime, and my grandfather, as a forest ranger, planted quite a few, especially in this place in Pennsylvania, where the logging industry did a lot of clear cutting. It's amazing. I don't believe there's a single old stand forest left in Pennsylvania, although it has grown back. Pennsylvania is a very wooded state, beautiful state, my birth state. And I spent time actually at 15, 16. I lived in the mountains there with some relatives. And I'm glad the forests grow back, but we never get that old growth back again. Definitely sad. So, all right, guys. On that note, we'll call it a night. I'll see everyone tomorrow. I'll be back live. I'll be doing my burpees. And again, I appreciate everyone's support. Take care, guys.